A really young team. How surprised are you that they've played like this, given you have so many guys that are in their first, second, third year in the league?
I think that the Cavs are surprised at the way it's going. I don't think that they were expecting it to happen for the reason you mentioned. The core of this team, Jared Allen, Markkanen, Darius Garland, who's really having an underrated breakout type of year because of Mobley. People are kind of overlooking that, the way Darius Garland has played. But you look at those four, you throw in Okoro, you throw in Chetty, all those guys, and Lamar Stevens, who had a nice game in Miami. All of those guys are still very young. I mean, the four starters that I just listed, and take out Sexton, all of those guys are 24 or younger, So it's almost like you're considered an old guy if you're 24 on this team. But then you factor in important pieces. Kevin Love's having a great year coming off the bench, exactly the role he needs. Ricky Rubio obviously has been a godsend in that trade. And even Ed Davis, who isn't seeing the floor a lot, while, yes, their core is young and, the guys who are really winning the game, so to speak, are younger. Those veterans, having those veteran voices are so important. And again, they didn't have that last year. Love was injured. They traded Drummond. They traded JaVale McGee. It's very vital to have those type of guys to help push the youth, not only in practice, but also on the court and lead by example.
All right. So the $1 million question, again, team, you mentioned all the guys that are 24 or younger. What do they need to do to continue playing well and avoid hitting the quote-unquote wall that sometimes happens with young teams?
Yeah, it can happen with a young player like Mobley too. You see a lot of that rookies hitting that the so-called rookie wall. A big part of that's going to be again, going back to the veterans, pushing them. Veterans don't typically hit that wall. They push through it when they get to that 45, 40, 50 game mark where the wheels might feel like they're starting to come off, or, we have a game against Sacramento in February. Nobody's excited about that. How do you convince them to go out and play hard and take care of business? I think the reason for optimism and all that is because it's all about the mindset, and J.B. Bickerstaff has them believing 1 through 12 that, we're going to be a factor this year, and we're going to go in and spoil everybody else's party, and we're going to take care of the games we should take care of, beating an Orlando at home like they did last weekend. Those are the games that, the past 3 years, you couldn't always count on them winning because they would come out flat or whatever. So I think right now, Dave, it's really just about the mindset is, look, when we hit a speed bump, we've got to find a way to push through that. And they've done that well so far, not just, from game to game, but actually in the games. We saw in Phoenix where they were getting creamed. They had every reason to get creamed against the defending Western Conference champions on the road the night after playing the Lakers. And they were down 16 or so. And you thought, well, this is going to be a beatdown. But they came back out in the second half and played hard and did what they needed to do to compete in that game. So if that mindset continues, it's really not about who's healthy and who's not. It's about having that right mindset. J.B. Bickerstaff continuing to get the most out of the guys he has in the lineup and the hand he's been dealt. If that continues, this whole season will continue, and they'll be able to push through that mid-season, late season wall.